Hello, it's me again. So I'm here with my Call Financial account. Again, disclaimer: I'm not an employee of Call Financial. I'm just showing you the things that are available for us, information that are available for us. If we are an investor or we have an account holder in Call Financial. So in Call Financial, they have something like mutual fund. I don't know if this is available also for non-investors. I think so, right? So if you will look at the other side, so when you click the mutual fund, it will open to another tab, which is called fund source. So if you're not sure whether this is available, maybe you can just copy this or look for call fund source. Anyway, and when you click the fund information, this comes out, and you have to click the fund code, and this will come out. So list of funds for online trading. So these are the funds that are being tracked by Call Financial. By the way, I've already mentioned, I've already um, defined what mutual funds are. There are many forms of mutual fund, but in the Philippines, it's kind of limited, unlike in the US. But even if though it's limited, you have already a good array of funds that you can choose from. So why do people choose mutual fund? I've already discussed that, but again, in mutual funds, you don't get to choose the stocks that they invest upon. You just look for a fund that resembles the kind of risk tolerance that you have. So if your risk tolerance is here, and if you will notice at the legend of the call risk rating, if your risk tolerance if you're conservative, just choose with among the funds that are rated 1 to 2. So for example, money market fund, usually it's a low risk, and usually those are the low risk money market fund or the income fund. So managed income fund, film managed income fund is rated 2. And then after that, you have 3 and 4, moderately aggressive. I think we have that here. Of course, the bond funds are there. So we also discussed about the bonds. There are some bonds here that are traded, by FAMI, by PMI, Sun Life, and all that. Right. So Philippines is also here. Okay, now after this, so if you will look at this peso bond fund and fixed income fund, they are rated 3. Usually kasi they also earn something, no, fixed income. But there are bond fund that are more aggressive than the rest. Film bond fund, for example, or Phil equity peso bond fund. So they are rated with a higher rating. So ano ba ibig sabihin ng higher rating? Meaning, you have a higher risk here. So 3 and 4, higher risk. But don't look at that from that perspective, kasi as we said, if you have high risk, then there's high return. High return, high risk. Yun. So just that's the name of the game. So if you want to go a little bit higher, 5 to 6, moderately aggressive na yan. So 5 to 6. Okay, so we have the balance fund. So the way I manage my funds is usually a balance fund. So we have bonds, we have some equity also. Yun. Balance fund is has a greater risk than the bond fund, because balance fund has equities there. So ito yung mga example niya. So at ATRAM, ATRAM, Philippine Balance Fund, Philam Fund is there, PAMI, Horizon Fund, Sun Life Prosperity Balance Fund. So those are balance fund. But some balance fund are higher in rating, in risk rating than the rest. And it is just rated thus by call risk rating because of the way they are managed, and the kind of issues or equities that they have. So if you wanna go a little bit higher, so 7 to 8, ito na yung pinaka-aggressive. These are the most aggressive fund. So we have the equity equity index, so 7, and then equity fund. So why is the equity index lower? So the reason for that is if you are invested, well, if the company, if the mutual fund is invested in equity index, then usually the whatever the market is earning, then you're earning. If you're more aggressive than the market, sure, if if the market is in a state of bullish run, so if the market is bullish, mataas yung returns and all that, usually you will ever overtake the market. So yun yung mga growth fund din, no? So yan, kaya dito equity, growth fund, opportunity fund. So these are more or less invested aggressively. But if you're invested in the equity, if the equity, lalo na if you're invested in the PSE index fund like this one, no? Phil Equity Index Fund, if the market goes up, 10% this year, then you end up usually earning 10% this year. So it's like that. Maganda naman kay balance fund since they have, kaya nga balance, they have some bonds there. So they cushion your fall. So if the market is falling like 10% or something, then maybe you will just fall about 6-7% or even 5%. So if the market is down, then you are down, but not by so much. Sometimes you're up by a little, right? But if the market is really growing like 50-60%, if you're in a balance fund, then you will be left behind. The market is up by 50 or 60%, then you're just up maybe 20-25. So it balances out because of the risk that you are trying to take. So yeah, so those are the meaning of this. So let's just choose one. So let's choose the balance fund first, no? For example, film fund. Film is not paying me or anything, so it's just the thing that I've chosen. Okay, so if you will invest here, so just click here, and since if you have an account in COL Financial, then you will be charged for that. Okay, so ito yung XPAF. So ito yung NAV po niya, yung ating tinatawag na net asset value per share. So from 1993, it's here up to 2020. Minimum initial contribution is here, 1,000 minimum additional contribution, so you add 500. There's a management fee of 2%, which is very low naman, so you can easily get that. Minimum holding period of 180 days, so 6 months ang minimum period ng holding. So ito yung kanyang performance in the past years. 2014 up sila by 13%. The market is up by 15%. So as I told you, it's a little lesser than the market. In 2015, market is down by 0.7. The portfolio is down by 0.4.7. So medyo natalo siya rito. We don't know what happened to them, but this is not a good sign. Here, the market is up by 0.7. It is down by 1.5. So this is very much statistical tie ito. Very much understandable. Up market ng 13.9, up sila ng 11.5. Okay, the market is down by 7.6, down siya ng 9.4. I think there's a problem with the film fund when the market is down. So you will notice that dapat here, if the market is down by 7.6, it should have been down just by a little. Maybe it's not balanced enough. So anyway, this is the sample portfolio mix niya. As I said, 50% bonds, 50% equities. So if you will look at the prospectus, you can click on the prospectus and see what they're up to. Where are they investing and all that. So it's a huge document, 56 pages all in all. So you will see all the things that you need to know from the company. Ayan, okay, so the incorporation, the papers of incorporation is there. Amended prospectus pala yan, so table of contents, financial highlights, those are the things that I will not go through this anymore, right? So ito lang yung fund fact sheet. So you will maybe this is a better document to look at. So cumulative historical performance in 1 month 0.66, 1 year 6.62, but this is up to, what's this, up to these are returns net of fees, no? So tapos na yung fees dyan, nakuha na yung 2% since inception of December 1930. So 5 years is 1% per annum, so mababa, no? So 3 years is an average of 7.6, annualized 0.21 lang, so mababa, right? 1 year 6.6%, 3 years is 2.5%, and yan, year to date, ano when this is maybe as of December 31, 2019. Well, anyway, look at the fund and then compare it with the benchmark. So, you don't penalize them so much. Like, this case, 6% siya in 1 year. The benchmark is 12%. But you will have to look into that, lalo na in this kind of time, no? In this kind of time na talagang bagsak si market. So here is the kind of investment and equity that they have. Like they have SM Investments, SM Prime Holdings, so for SM, Ayala Land, so property, BDO, o SM na naman, Ayala Corp, AC, so maybe Ayala Corp and SM. Top 5 fixed income holdings. So these are the fixed income nilang hawak. Meaning, kumikita sila dito whether it's up or down. So, they have this. Ito yung mga yield rate, 8%, 6%, 6%, 8.1%, 6.25%, January 2036. Okay, so these are the top 5 fixed income holdings that they have, and these are the percentage of the holdings. So, 5, mga 6 plus 5, 11, plus 3, 14, 16, 18. So, about 18%. Ito naman, 12, 16, 20, 25. So, about 26, 27%. So, if you have that 28 plus 18, about 40. So, this is about half of everything. Okay, so they don't show you everything, of course, no? But, okay, so this is the NAVPS graph. However, they are down. I'm sure they're down today. We don't get to see it. Not right now. Yan. So, you can look at all the data here. The valuation methods, market to market, custodian bank, Citibank, NA. Okay, so that's it. That's it for the mutual fund. So you just run over, look for your call risk rating, your risk tolerance. Suggestion ko, if you're young, look for aggressive ones kasi you have your whole life to invest upon, right? If you're a bit old like me, then go for conservative. But even in my age, I am more of aggressive rather than conservative, right? So knowing the stock market, you shouldn't be so conservative. Well, of course, depends really on your view. Not here to judge. Okay, so that's how to look at the mutual fund here in COL Financial. Marami pa dito eh. So, let's see. Stock index fund. Okay, so kita naman natin, no? It's down, right? So, now, if it's down, maybe it's a good time to buy this one, right? So, this is the fact sheet. Minimum investment is only 5,000. Okay. Oh, yan, may mga portfolio beta. What does that mean, no? Portfolio beta compared to a benchmark. This is usually computed compared to the market. So 1.01, usually it tracks the market. So if the market is up by 1%, then it is up by 1.01. So very, very, very close. Practically tie yan. Volatility is past year 15%. So 50% volatility up and down. Current number of holdings nila 35 kasi 30 yung stocks natin. 30 yung index. And then tracking error is about 0.18. Ayan. So makikita niyo naman dito how it's managed. So yan. They also have cash, time deposits about 0.81%. So this closely tracks the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.